Welcome to another Saturday Night Fever. Devin Ray's already in the chat saying boo. I'm guessing he's saying boo to the fact that we had to start late, but about a half an hour late here tonight on a Saturday night for the JWR eRacing Saturday Night Fever Super Speedway Money Series coming your way here. 40 laps of action at Talladega with the Oreilly Series cars, and actually we're a little low on numbers tonight because speaking of Oreilly, it seems like the Oreilly drivers themselves down in Atlanta couldn't seem to get the race finished tonight, so I don't know if they got it finished yet or not, but just lingered and lingered. So we've lost a few drivers. Actually, what it tends to happen a lot of times, especially on a Saturday or Sunday, whenever we have a NASCAR race somewhere in the South, a lot of our drivers actually go to the races. So we've got about 11 cars strong here tonight and not lacking any talent. I see some of the big names here tonight with us. We're looking right now at Michael Mancheka. I'm not really familiar with Michael in the 32, but he's out here going to get some warm-up laps in. We got about a minute and a half left to go in warm-ups. So more exciting action coming your way. So we'll take this minute. Like I said, we got about a minute to go, so we'll just take a quick moment here to talk about what's going on here on DRSN. Coming up later on. Where's my... There we go. Coming up later on in the week. So we've got to get through this 40 laps here at Talladega, and we come back Tuesday night for the Western Racing League Truck Series at North Wilkesboro. It's North Wilkesboro work week on iRacing. Wednesday night, the ARCA Series Smoking Thunder at Chicagoland. Sager will be bringing you coverage on that. Thursday night, we got the Victory Lanes Cars Late Model Series at North Wilkesboro with Liam, and then I am back here next Friday night with a Half Decent Racing League Xfinity Series. So lots of action coming your way here on DRSN. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the notification. But right now, we have got some exciting super speedway action coming your way. 40 laps of action at Talladega. And it looks like nobody bothered to qualify. So it's just going to be a random. I don't know if it's a random. I don't know how iRacing does it. Is it just a random lineup, or do they start how they join the lobby? I don't know. We'll find out here. So, but nobody bothered to go out and get a qualifying lap in. So we got about 18 seconds left to go, and we're going to get cars gridded up, and we'll get your starting lineup. Will be underway here on DRSN for the JWR eRacing Saturday Night Fever. One more time coming your way. All right, my name is Chris Murphy here with you one more time. Take a look. Don't forget to take a look in the description of the video here on the channel. Find all of the DRSN affiliate partners and discounts you're going to find from AdminBoxx, AI Chief Racing, Simpson Pedals. Get an 8% discount code if you use DRSN. Premier Setups. Find all those codes and links in the description of the race. All right, so it looks like James Waring himself is going to race with us here tonight, out here on the racetrack in the 95. So we're going to start 12 cars strong. Richard Elliott going to end up on the front row of the McCullough Motorsports number 02. Once we get rolling, we'll bring you the starting lineup here for tonight. 40 laps, definitely going to have have at least one pit stop. Cannot go 40 laps under green flag conditions here. Even if there's a couple of cautions, you're not going to be able to go 40 laps at Talladega. So there'll be at least one fuel stop here somewhere through mid-race. Either see if we can get a green flag. We did cover a race here a few weeks ago here on JWR that went flag to flag. Not something you see a lot in the super speedway races. So let's bring up our starting lineup here for tonight. On the pole in the 02 from Little River Academy, Richard Elliott. To his outside, Daniel Lawless. Back in row number 2, starting in the 3rd spot, is Michael Mancheka. And from Rolla, Missouri, it's Cody Niegels. Inside row number 3 in the 39 is Daniel Falkingham, and to his outside is Joshua McCullough. Back to row number 4, starting in the 7th spot, it's Matt Patton from Mechanicsville, and James Waring from Haverstraw, New York. Back to row number 5, starting in 9th, it's William Scott Jr., and it's the row of juniors. It's William Scott Jr. and Kenneth McCullough Jr. from Savannah, Georgia. And back in row number 6, starting in 11th, it's Tim White. Tim's picked up 3 wins this week in the money racing community. To see if he can pick up win number 4. To his outside, it's Casey Sprinkle, and I don't really think that Casey's from Antarctica, but we'll just say Casey Sprinkle in the 59 from Antarctica. And I don't see Casey. I don't think he's even made it out onto the racetrack, so we might be just starting 11 here for 40 laps of action. Watch the 0-2 of Richard Elliott. A lot of laps around here. One of the crafty ones. Not familiar with Lawless, but he has got one of the best in the game right here, right behind him in the 39 of Daniel Falkham. Let's see what Daniel can do. Down to the inside right there, number 3. See Cody Nagels in the 6. We haven't seen Cody a lot here on Saturday night, so good to see Cody joining us here tonight. All right, rolling off turn number 4. We're going to get the iRacing pace truck, make that left-hand turn down pit road. We're going to go green flag racing. 11 cars for 40 laps. Who's going to take home the money tonight? A long way down to that start-finish line as they head down to the trial board, but it's going to be Richard Elliott and Daniel Lawless bringing us to the flag. Lawless lagging back here a little bit on the start. Green flag in the air on a Saturday night here at Talladega. Elliott down to the bottom of the racetrack. He's got Mancheka right there with him. Lawless left alone on the top. Falkenham had to drop back. He fell down behind Nagels down there into the 4 spot. Right behind him, it's a 95 of Waring. Lawless not going to find too many friends there. I'm not sure. Like I said, not real familiar with Daniel. I've not seen him around a lot, but right now he is getting left hanging out on the outside of the racetrack. Everybody else down on the bottom. It looks like that might be Patton come up here to get... Actually, that is the 3 of Matt Patton's going to come up here and try to give him some help, but no, he's going to leave him hanging as well. He's going to drop down to the bottom of the racetrack. So up front is Elliott, Mancheka, Nagels, and I'm sure I'm saying Michael's name wrong. Somebody correct me if they know any better. If not, it's how we're going to pronounce it all night long. But everybody on the bottom right now. Patton takes a dip down to the inside line, back there behind Tim White. Tucks back up into line right there in front of him. Kenneth McCullough Jr., the number 1. Everybody's changing liveries and car numbers on me every time. Well, of course, we keep changing cars too. But look at this, Elliott and Mancheka getting a little separation here. You usually don't see this, getting a little 2-car breakaway here a little bit. But right behind him is Nagels, Falkenham, Waring, everybody, pretty much just everybody else, and they're going to reel him in here pretty shortly. I do not expect this 2-car breakaway to last too much longer, as we've got 1 lap in the books coming around the lead. Finish lap number 2. Elliott still out in front. Everybody pretty settled in here. Doesn't look like anybody trying to do anything crazy. Lawless back there trying to make something work. He's still on the top of the racetrack. He's pretty much been stuck up there since we went green flag. He started outside the front row. He's finally going to find his spot in line. Down behind the 239 of Tim White. Where is Patton going? Patton once again goes down below the yellow line. William Scott Jr. right there behind him. I was checking to see if Sprinkle made the show. He did not, so there's a 21 of Scott. 11 cars all still in the lead draft right now. I did not get an idea on fuel mileage. Oh, look at Elliott's going to move up the racetrack. He's going to let Michael have the lead right there. I think Elliott, that was planned. He moved up out of the way. Going to let Mancheka take the lead. Nagels and Falken, I'm going to come along. So is Waring. Let's see if Elliott can find a hole somewhere to get down. Oh, he's going to find a way to spot right behind the 95 of James Waring, right in front of the 05 of Joshua McCullough. And we're getting a little anxious back there in the back of the pack. Scott taking a look to the outside of the 97 of Lawless anyway, and he's now up alongside of Tim White as well. So the 21 trying to come to the front. The 97 of Lawless jumps up there to help him, but not close enough. And as a matter of fact, Lawless in danger of losing the draft if he does not catch up here, and he's going to make up the ground right there. And look at Patton. Patton with a move to the outside. Going to get around Elliott. Nice move there from the 3 of Matt Patton. He's moving now up to 5th after starting back in 8th. Appreciate that, Chris, buddy. You know what? You just need to join in for every single race I'm in, but I really appreciate you jumping on there with the super chat. Back here in the back, we still see Scott and Lawless trying to make something work. Everybody else just down the bottom of the racetrack. Nobody really trying to do anything aggressive. Nagel's going to move up. He's going to fall out of line here. What you might see some of these guys do is fall back to see if they can make up some ground, kind of test some things out. Nagel's going to fall back. He's got the boy, Scott's just got a handful right there in the 21. Caught up to the back of the 6 and then got a little squirrely there up and down the racetrack. Fortunately, did not get into anybody, so the 21 of Scott's going to fall back into 10th. Nagel's going to slide into the 9 hole there. All right, 4 down, come across the line to complete lap number 5. 35 laps left to go as they come across the stripe. Dump on the roof cam here with 39. Daniel Falcon at PGR eSports, number 39. Trying to reel in Mancheka. Mancheka got a good lead up there. In the street limit number 32. He's kind of out there by himself. Watch for Falkenham and Waring to get a run here. Can Mancheka do anything when they get to him here? They've really let him get out there by about 10 car lengths. Let's see how this plays out for him here. As we've got the red, white, and blue all right there together of Falkenham, Waring, and Patton. And they are going to reel in Mancheka here in a hurry. And there's Lawless up on the top of the racetrack again all by himself. Just testing some things out, seeing what he can do. He's actually going to make some ground and get around Elliott. So Lawless up to 4th. And he now looks to the outside of Patton. Where is the speed coming from the 97? He's doing this all by himself. He gets around Elliott. Now he is challenging the number 3 of Matt Patton. I can't see that lasting too much longer out there for him. Thanks again there, Chris. I got to make some new icons, little gifs for that, I guess. But look at Lawless. All by himself out there on the outside of the racetrack. He's now around Patton. He's up there challenging the 95 of Waring. Where is his speed coming from out of the 97? Let's see if anybody jumps up there to block off that run. So far, everybody's staying down on the bottom of the racetrack. He looks like he's going to have to tuck in behind Waring in the 95. No, he's going to go back out to the outside even more. The 97's made his way around about 4 or 5 cars now, just all by himself. He is now around Falkenham. He's cleared Waring. He's up to 2nd. Falkenham dips up to the outside of the racetrack. Where in the heck did that speed come from out of the 97? He was back in the back. He is now reeling in your leader, Michael Mancheka, here on lap number... What lap we on? We're on lap number 8. You know, it'd probably be helpful if I put the timing and scoring up there for you. So lap number 8. Daniel Lawless challenging our leader here. We got about a 3-car breakaway with Mancheka, Lawless, and Waring now. Patton's dropped back a little bit. Elliott dropped back to 5th. Falkenham's falling back to 6th. He jumped to the outside. Didn't work for him. Up front, the 32 and the 97 going at it. Waring getting into the picture. Here comes the 95. He wants to get in front of this thing. He's going to come up on the back bumper of the 97. As we look back from Lawless, you can see we got a separation in our 2 packs. Not sure what happened here, but if you see you can see the gap back there. We got a 4-car breakaway. Then it's a little ways back. It's about 2 seconds back to Elliott, Falkenham, McCullough, White, Nagels, and Scott all back here in this 2nd group. So what I would expect to see, we're 10 laps into this, 30 laps left to go, somewhere in the next 10, 15 laps. I would expect this group to be in communication. They're going to pit. I'm sure they're going to pit together. Elliott moves up the top of the racetrack. That's going to let Falkenham go by. See if they're going to just kind of swap positions. See if a different. Yeah, sorry about that, man. The scoring tower was my fault for not hitting that a little bit sooner. We wasted about 9 laps without it. You just had to. It's like a radio call. You just had to trust what I was telling you was true. All right. So Lawless with a great drive drove by the outside to get to 2nd, but has not tried to challenge our leader just quite yet. James Waring right there with him, and that goes right behind the building. And it looks like Patton is reeled into the back of this group as well. So we got a 4-car breakaway here. Then it's a little ways back to Falkenham, about 2.5 seconds now to this 2nd group. And there goes Lawless, going to take a peek to the outside. Does he have enough to get by the leader? The 97 has really showed some speed here. He's out there all by himself. Patton's going to jump up there with him, but not close enough to really do much. Let's see if anybody goes. And once again, Patton going to take another look. He's going to dive back down to the bottom. And this is letting that second group make up some ground right now. They were about 2.5 seconds back. It's now about 1.7, and they're gaining ground on this first group. Lawless out there challenging for the lead by himself. Does not look like he's going to be able to pull off the pass there on Michael Mencheka. James Waring and Matt Patton right there with him. Team Dagger Pros running third and fourth. And here comes that second pack with a big head of steam. Daniel Falcon and Joshua McCullough, Kenneth McCullough. Let's see what they do here as they catch this lead pack. Are they going to stay down the bottom? Or are they going to move to the top? It looks like, as of right now, they're just going to tuck in on the bottom. So they made up about 2.5 seconds in a big hurry. Within about 4 or 5 laps. I'm not sure how they got separated in the first place, but they were able to reel in that lead group. And here comes the 39 of Falcon, and taking a peeking a nose out to the outside of the 3 of Patton, tucks back in line. That could be just pulling the car off a little bit or just kind of taking a little peek. And it looks like Lawless is charged to the front, might be stalling out here. He was up alongside of the leader, but now going to fall back to second. Waring challenging him down on the bottom of the racetrack. So we've got all 11 cars back in our lead draft. We were down to a small group of 4. But let's see, we got a little conversation here going on. Radio replay bringing us some other cool tools. We got Daniel Falcon and talking as they're trying to catch that lead pack.
Boys, I think we got it, man. I think we just got to go.
And it's a little more information here from Cody Nagels.
Yeah, I don't think we can afford to just let them run off.
And look at Lawless as we're playing around the radio. Again, by himself, jumps out in front, takes the lead here. Started in second outside the front row, fell all the way to the back on the opening lap. And all of a sudden, he is just driving away unknown. Like I said earlier when we started, I'm not familiar with Daniel Lawless. I've not seen him before. But man, he just made a run from the back of this field pretty much by himself on the outside. I don't think I've seen that in the many races that I have covered here on the Super Speedway Money Series. I don't think I've seen anybody do that by himself, but Daniel Lawless putting on a show, driving up to the front of this field. But make no mistake, he has got some heavy hitters. He's got a lot of talented drivers, Super Speedway drivers right there behind him. I mean, we see Waring, Patton, Falcon, and McCullough's White. These guys run Super Speedway every single night of the week. Cody Nagels, Richard Elliott. He is going to have his hands full holding on that lead for the next 25 laps, but we're on lap 15, and right now out in front is Daniel Lawless. Another unfamiliar name to me is Michael Mencheka down there in second. And I think Lawless really needs, he's kind of sticking up, moving up to the middle of the racetrack by himself. And you can see that down the back straightaway right there. He actually gained about a car length or two on the second place number 32. And then they're going to reel him back in through 3 and 4 down the front straightaway into the trial section. So right now, where are we at? We got coming up to complete lap number 15, start 16. 25 laps left to go of this 40-lap race. As Lawless takes a peek, moves up the racetrack just a little bit. The 32 of Mencheka tried to take a look to the inside. Not able to get up alongside of the 97. So a little further back, and this is one of the most unorganized draft packs I've seen on a Saturday night. Normally, they're going to be nose to tail right here. You can see a little gap here between the 3 and the 39. They get a little bit of organized. Patton kind of falling back to the, dropping back here to the front bumper of the 39. They're going to see if they can get back up here to catch that top 3. But still, 11 cars here on the racetrack, 11 cars in the lead draft. 11 started, actually, so 11 is our number. If you're playing craps, 11 is the number right now, but right now, 16 laps down, 24 left to go. Can Lawless hang on to this? So I expect pit stops to be coming sometime in the next 5 to 10 laps. Macheca takes a peek to the inside of the 97 down the back straightaway. We've seen this ever since Lawless took the lead. He's able to move up about mid-groove right here and hold that lead. The 32 not really able to get to his back bumper. Off of turn number 4, and this top 3 breaking away once again. Lawless, Macheca, and Waring are getting some separation. It is now about a second and a half back to Patton, Falkenham, and the McCulloughs right there. So again, about got 3 cars starting to break a little bit, and Waring's starting to lose a little bit of the draft as well. So let's see if he can reel back in the 32 of Macheca there. And I keep figuring out, I think if I say his name just different every single time, one of these times I'll get it right. Alright, a little bit of slicing and dicing back here in the back. Falkenham's going to move up to the top of the racetrack. Here comes the one of Kenneth McCullough down there on the bottom. Falkenham on the top with the 05 of Joshua McCullough. Kenneth McCullough, Tim White, Nagels. And it looks like William Scott down there on the bottom. They're basically 3 wide off of 4 right here. William Scott able to drive to the front of this pack. In the 21. He's found a little something on the outside of the racetrack. So a little something going on here tonight, because look at the 21 of Scott. Went around the outside and pulled away from this pack. He's got some separation back to Patton. Back up front, it's still the 97 of Daniel Lawless, Michael Macheca, and they have a little dropped with James Waring off that pack. So the 95 of James Waring now falling back to 3rd, and he has lost the lead draft of those top 2, and he has fallen back to that 2nd group. William Scott, Patton, and McCullough all coming his way, and it looks like an incident here with Macheca. He's coming down pit road. So our first pit stop, the 32, he's coming down by himself. Nobody else is coming down with a 32. That leaves Lawless out on the racetrack by himself as well. I don't know if that's a mistake right there. He's probably not in a voice chat with anybody. But Macheca here pitting by himself. He's going to come back out on the racetrack alone. Not going to have any help. Now let's watch this gap here between Lawless and Scott. It's 4.8 seconds. Lawless all by himself. Scott back here with his pack of about 7 or 8 other cars here trying to catch the leader. And let's just take a look here at this gap right now. It's 4.5 seconds between Scott and Daniel Lawless. So let's see how fast that starts to close in, as Lawless no longer has a drafting partner up there. And here comes Scott by himself. So some of these drivers that we're not really familiar with, seeing him here for one of the first times, not really having anybody to pit with, and they're going to come down here all alone. And you can see him and check it way out on the racetrack. So again, just take a look at this gap. And it's still about 4.2, 4.1. And it was 4.5 seconds, a lap and a half ago when we looked at it. I really expected that gap to really close in a lot quicker than that. And here they are. They're working it down now. It's down to 3.5. At this point, I believe they are going to reel in the leader here within the next. And it looks like everybody's coming down pit road. Not everybody, but Patton, White, Elliott, Kenneth McCullough. It looks like Joshua McCullough and Patton all come down pit road. That leaves Nagels and Falkenham out on the racetrack together. So Nagels and Falkenham paired up. I'm sure they're going to team up and pit together here somewhere soon. So you see Elliott down pit road. Notification down in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. You can also see the pit times. Everybody's down on pit road right now. That graphics brought to you by our good friend Shane Cochran over at Collateral Damage Sports Network, bringing you a lot of the different graphics and stuff you're seeing here on the screen. If you're looking for, if you got SDK to use it for anything, reach out to Shane. He'll get you hooked up. And here comes our leader. Looks like Daniel is going to come down pit road, and here comes Nagels and Falkenham going to come with him. And Lawless gets into the pits very slowly right there. That looked like me trying to come down pit road. Wallace lost a lot of ground. As a matter of fact, both Nagels and Falkenham got by him. So let's keep an eye on the racetrack. Let's see where Pat's at right now. They're coming off with 3 and 4. It's definitely going to be fuel-only pit stops for everybody. Keep an eye on these pit times. Here comes this is basically going to be for the lead. Patton blinking on and off right there. McCullough right there. They're just now coming through the trial. Well, here comes Nagels and Falkenham off of pit road. Lawless with not a great stop. He is going to lose a lot of ground. He had drove all the way to the front of this thing, but he is going to need a caution to get back out in front. Here comes Nagels and Falkenham, and here comes Patton, Joshua McCullough, and Kenneth McCullough with a big head of steam. And they're going to go around the outside of Nagels and Falkenham. All right, so as usual, the pit stops have really shaken things out. We look back here, we see James Waring and Tim White. Their pit stops did not time very well. They're back here by themselves right now. You can see Lawless, who was our race leader, is falling all the way back to dead last right now. He's back in 11th. So he drove to the front of him, but the pit stop killed him. And he's going to need a caution here somewhere. So we got a 5-car battle up front right now. Patton, McCullough, Nagels, and Falking. And that's your top 5. Then it's a little ways back to Richard Elliott, who's pretty much by himself. He's got William Scott and Michael Mancheka coming up behind him. And then it's a little further back to Tim White and James Waring. They're teamed up in a 2-car pack right here, trying to make up some ground, see if they can make their way toward the front. And we've got a battle up front. Here comes Patton down to the bottom of the racetrack. McCullough moves up. Joshua McCullough moves up in front of Kenneth McCullough. Leaves Patton down there by himself on the bottom because Nagels is going to go up there with him, and so is Falkenham. So we got a 5-car battle up here in the front. It's getting a little spicy up here as we're way past the halfway point. 23 laps down, 17 to go. Here comes Nagels on the bottom of the racetrack. He's underneath the one of Kenneth McCullough for second. Falkenham coming with him. Joshua McCullough still hanging on to the lead, but you can see the 6 of Nagels has got a great run on the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes Daniel Falkenham in the 39. And I think they're trying to drop the 3 of Pat, but he is going to be able to catch that draft with him running side by side in front of him. So only a 5-car pack up here for the lead, but do not think it's not going to get exciting before it's over with. Nagels looks to get a little loose right there. That's going to let Joshua McCullough gain a little bit more ground. He's going to pull away a little bit through the trial section. Joshua McCullough, Kenneth McCullough. And it's a little ways back here. Where is Falkenham's going to fall back to 5th. We go back here to Richard Elliott, Mancheka, and Scott. Scott's now lost this draft. And Tim White and James Waring. So these guys back here in the back just hoping for a caution of some kind. They just don't want to be it. All right, Joshua McCullough and Kenneth McCullough. McCullough Motorsports, MMS 05 and the number 1 right there, teamed up on the outside together. And Matt Patton, the Dagger Pros, number 3. Nightmare eSports of Cody Nagel down there on the bottom with Daniel Falkenham. And it's a ways back from there, back to 5th with the 6th place running Richard Elliott. 14 to go as they come across the line. We have been green since it's been green, no caution free since the drop of the green flag. That's a better way to say it. Let's take a look at our lap leaders here. Lawless led 10. Mancheka led 9. Richard Elliott got up and led 3. Joshua McCullough has now led 3. Patton and Nagels have both led a lap. So 11 cars in this field, and over half of them have at least led a lap in it. Here's our biggest movers. Kenneth McCullough up 7 spots. Josh up 5. Patton also up 5. Scott and Tim White both up a deuce. I appreciate you being up there in the chat. Yeah, I see. Yeah, Lawless, 4-second lead, and his pit stop killed him. He is now 24 seconds off the leader. So basically a 28-second swap in time for that pit stop for Lawless. So just like me, I if it was me out there racing, I had the same problem. I don't run races that have the pit stops because I have not taken the time to practice them. But look on the bottom. Here comes Nagels and Falkenham one more time trying to challenge for the lead. So let's see. We got James and Tim White talking to each other, trying to make up some ground. Let's see. Let's check in here with James.
I got forward, but we are gaining slowly.
All right, so that's Tim White and James Waring trying to do what they can to catch the drivers in front of them. They're way back in the field right now. They're about 14 seconds back of the leader. I don't think they're going to have any chance of catching this lead group without a caution flag. And look at this. McCullough back to the front. Joshua McCullough, Kenneth McCullough right there with him. Patton in third now. Nagels and Falkenham falling back just a little bit. Back in fourth and fifth. What's the fight that's on there, Devin? You can't leave us hanging here, man. You gotta gotta stay here with us at Talladega. You can watch the fight later. Nagel's down to the inside of Patton. We head into 3 and 4. He's got a great run. Patton's gonna slip up the racetrack. Left kind of Falkenham back there by himself. Daniel's gonna drop down to the bottom here, but Cody got hung out down there on the bottom of the racetrack all by himself during that transition. But here comes Daniel Falkenham in a 39. He's gonna come down and see if he can push the 6 to the front. Little shakeup right there. Cody took a look to the bottom. I really think he expected Daniel to go with him right away. But Patton got a little bit loose there in front of him, and I think they all just kind of scattered around. You take a look here at the 05 of Joshua McCullough. Look a little bit back to the Kit Kat number 1. All right, where are we at? We're going to come, this time by will be 10 to go. We've got 20 coming around to complete lap number 30. And it's a 5-car breakaway right here. Without a caution flag, it's going to come down to one of these 5 drivers. Everybody else kind of is off this lead pack. It's a ways back. It's 7 seconds back to the 6th place car of Richard Elliott. That's another 14 seconds back to the group behind them of Tim White and Waring. And then we take a look back to our leader from earlier, the 97 Daniel Wallace, all out here on the racetrack by himself. He is now about 28 seconds away from the lead. And once again, Nagel's taking a look to the inside of the racetrack. He's up alongside of the 3 of Patton, and Falcon is back there behind, just kind of dancing between both. He's not sure who to go with, but now he's going to get right back up on the back bumper of the 6. So the 3 cars up on the top look like they're teamed up together. So it's 3 versus 2, as we're seeing up in the chat from Devin. I think I agree with you, buddy. I think it's McCullough, and Patton teamed up together, and then it's Cody, Nagels, and Daniel Falkenham. And it's going to come down to the battle of these 5 for sure, as we got 9 to go across the line. Nice run down to the bottom of the racetrack for Cody Nagels. He gets up alongside of the 3, but left Daniel Falkenham in the dust. Made a great drive down to the bottom of the racetrack. The 39 was not able to hang with him, and unfortunately that is going to... I mean, you basically get down there by yourself like that. It's like running into just a wall of air, basically, right there. And you can see how that played out for Cody Nagels. He had a good run. He was almost all the way up alongside of Kenneth McCullough, but then backs up back here behind Patton. So it's right now just testing what they can do out there. So let's take a look a little further back. Here's Elliott with Mancheka and Scott trying to do what they can to catch the leaders. Let's take a look here at the last 5 laps. And you can see on the average gaining just a little bit on that lead group. That lead group's gotten a little bit racy up there, and that's letting this pack back here make up a little bit of ground. But with only 8 laps left to go, I don't think it's nowhere near enough time that they're going to catch this group without some kind of a caution flag. Well, without any cautions, we really haven't had any time for any commercials, so we'll just have to talk a little about a few of our sponsors. AI Chief Racing, one of our favorite sponsors. If you're AI Chief's an AI-powered crew chief for iRacing that provides real-time strategy calls, fuel calculations, spotter information, race coaching, and a personality unlike anything else in sim racing. Built by racers for racers, AIChiefRacing.com/DRSN. if you're looking to get hooked up. That's I use it when I race, and it's just it helps a lot. It's a lot of fun. Falkenham's going to slide up in front of Patton. Patton's going to get into the back bumper of the 39 a little bit. That leaves Cody Nagels once again down there by himself on the bottom of the racetrack. And Cody Nagels one more time tried to make a move. Falkenham went down there with him, but then took the opportunity to slide up in front of the 3 of Patton, puts himself into the 3rd, and we're single file up on the top of the racetrack now, our top 5. This time by, there'll be 6 to go. And you can see up on the tower, McCullough's up 5 spots. Kenneth McCullough up 7. Cody Nagels one more time, drops down to the bottom. That move is shown to be pretty powerful there for him. He's able to move up get ahead of about 3 cars, or he gets by Patton, he gets by Falkenham, he gets right next to Kenneth McCullough, and then right there he just runs out of steam, and he is going to fall back to the back of this line one more time. He really needs somebody to drop down there with him on one of those runs, but right now he's just all alone, just trying to do what he can to find some way to get himself back to the front of this. Let's take a peek a little bit. Let's give some camera time back for these guys in the back. Here's Tim White and our host of JWR eRacing, James Waring. They're back here at 9th and 10th. A little further back is Lawless. Here's that second pack of 3 cars. They're now about 4.5 seconds back of our top 5. All right, down the long back straightaway one more time. We've got 5 laps to go, 4.5 right now, as we're halfway down the back straightaway. McCullough, Falkenham, Patton, and Cody Nagels. Who is going to find a little extra pace? Here comes, you see that pack of 2 cars with Elliott and Mancheka back there, and Scott. It's actually 3 cars right there trying to reel in this front group. Off of turn number 4 once again. It's Cody Nagels taking a look to the inside. Down, he's going to try it through the trioval section this time. Did not work as well as it did dropping down into turn 1 like he did earlier. He's way down on that yellow line. And it just looks like, I mean, the outside line's a place to be just because that's where everybody's at right now. I think if everybody's on the bottom would be a place to be. But right now, Joshua McCullough hanging on up here out in front. We're going to come around. This time there'll be 3 to go. And you got to give Cody credit in the 6. He's trying everything. Falkenham's going to drop down there with him. We'll see if we can see if that was planned in our chat. And I don't see any discussion up there about it, but this time when Cody dropped down, Daniel went down there with him a little bit, but still not able to really help him out much. Falkenham's going to slide back up into 3rd, Patton down to 4th, Nagels still back there in 5th. So let's see how this plays out in the next couple of laps. I think what we're seeing is I agree with you guys up there in the YouTube chat. I think they're just testing some stuff out, seeing what they can do. Just trying to find some way to get around Josh and Kenneth McCullough. You know, they're not going to be easy to pass. They're going to make the 05 and the 1 as wide as they possibly can off the final corner on the last lap. But right now, they're going to come off stripe in 2 laps. And look at that second group of cars. I hadn't really looked up there in a while, but Elliott, Mancheka, and Scott are now only about a 1.5 seconds back. And they are catching that lead pack with a little bit of racing they were doing up there has allowed this second pack, and they're running a totally different line down on the yellow line, right down on the bottom of the racetrack where that top group's running up on top. Let's keep an eye on this distance. Right now it's about 1.2 seconds from Elliott up to Nagels. Actually, it's down to 0.6. We're going to have an 8-car battle when we get down to the last lap if they keep making up ground the way they're making it up right now. I mean, look at Elliott. They're down on the bottom of the racetrack. They have got to run. Nagels has got to see this coming. Somebody's got to see that line coming. Drop down the road. No, they're going to jump up to the top. So a great drive there from Elliott, Mancheka, and Scott to stay organized. They have caught this lead pack as we're going to come across the line. It's white flag. We got 8 cars battling up in the front. Nagels drops down to the bottom. Tries to drop down in front of Elliott. He's going to drop down there one more time. Who's going to go with him? Nobody's going to go with him. Up front, as we're going through 1 and 2 for the last time, Joshua McKenna, Kenneth McCullough right now. Who is going to try something? It's 8 cars, single file on the outside of the racetrack. Somebody has got to make a move as we head into 3 and 4. Watch for the move off of 4 as we head into the trial section. It's a long way from turn 4 down to the start-finish line. Elliott's going to take a look to the inside. The 32 of Mancheka is going to go with him, but nobody in front's going to drop down there with him at all. So right now they're just single file on the outside of the racetrack. And it looks like really nobody trying something. There goes Daniel Falkenham to the bottom of the racetrack. Patton starts to go with him and then backs out, goes back to the top. And that is going to let Josh McCullough come across the line for the win. Kenneth McCullough in second. Falkenham was able to sneak up to third in front of Patton. But I think Falkenham just really needed some help. The 3 car started to go with him and then jumped back up to the top of the racetrack. So unfortunately, we didn't get our last lap heroics right there. We saw these guys out here trying a bunch of different stuff on the racetrack, just seeing what was going to work with each other. But Josh McCullough and Kenneth McCullough doing a great job up front. Daniel Falkenham was able to bring Cullum in third. Patton in fourth. Cody Nagels back to fifth. And Cody threw just about everything out that he had at him, but was just not able to have any help to get up to the front. Where is... Oh, there we go. All right. So let's see if we can get some people here in the Discord chat, get our top 3 interview going. Nobody up there yet, so we're just going to take a quick look at the results. Of tonight's 40-lap race here at Talladega. Coming home with the victory, Josh McCullough after starting back in 6th. Kenneth McCullough coming home in 2nd. Daniel Falkenham ran out our podium in 3rd. Matt Patton in 4th. Cody Nagels 5th. Richard Elliott going to come home in 6th. Mancheka 7th. William Scott going to come home in 8th. Tim White 9th. Not the run Tim was hoping for. James Waring in 10th. And Daniel Lawless, who got up in front, had an impressive run early on. Got out in front, led a bunch of laps, but unfortunately just mistimed his pit stop and lost a lot of time. Fell all the way back to 11th. We're going to go back and watch the last couple laps as we take a look here one more time at the Discord chat. See if we got anybody in the waiting room. I don't see anybody yet. DCR is okay. Christopher Carter, hey buddy. I just saw this note from James that you were sponsoring the broadcast, and I thanks a lot. Appreciate it, and definitely also appreciate you jumping in there and throwing in some super chats for us. Helps us try to bring some more tools. As you see, we're trying to bring as many different tools to the broadcast that we have with radio racing and just a bunch of different things. So let's go ahead. Let's just jump back here and watch that last lap one more time. So this was McCullough and McCullough up front. Daniel Falkenham back here in 3rd right now. Just did not have any help from the 3. And you can see Nagels drop down to the bottom. He tried to get some help there from Elliott. And unfortunately, just nobody went with him. And he's just kind of stuck back there in 5th with not really much he could do. But down the back straightaway, we see, I mean, just, I don't think anybody was going to get past either one of the McCulloughs right there. Falkenham was going to need about 4 or 5 cars to go with him to have enough of a head of steam right there, because the 05 and the 1 were going to take up the whole racetrack if they had to. As I roll down off of turn number 4, you're going to see Falkenham take a look to the inside, try to get a run. As they head into the trial section here, and Patton starts to go with him. And then Patton thinks the better and jumps back up behind the 1. I think if he'd have stayed down there, he might have had a little bit of a help. Might have maybe had a run up there, but just not quite there. So let's go ahead. Let's see. We got Daniel here in the waiting room. We'll get him up here with us, get a word from him. I don't see either one of the McCulloughs in in the Discord. So, all right. Daniel Falkenham, you got Chris up in the booth. Are you there, buddy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, man, you gave it everything you had. I mean, just kind of tell us how it played out from your point of view throughout this whole 40-lap event.
Yeah, just early on it became a game of fuel saving, and but when people started to start pitting right there at the end, or right there around halfway, we just had to commit to pitting. And then unfortunately, we just it was Cody and I. We were working together there. We were kind of late on like committing to like, I guess, trying to go make a move like when everyone was on the bottom coming out of the pits. Because by the time we tried to make a move, they were already on the fence with the McCulloughs and Patton. And just with this package, it's just so hard to clear them on the bottom when it's just two of you. There can be just like even one car up there, and they could probably side draft you back. The side draft is so strong. So Cody and I, we just kept trying to work them over. We got them split up a little bit when I managed to clear Patton. And right from there, I was trying to see like if Cody and I could like cook something up to try to go for it. But I knew Patton wasn't going to go with us, and I know Richard Elliott. He was in another pack that was working with them. So it's just a matter of just kind of being outnumbered right there. Which, I mean, it's part of the game. It is what it is. We just wish we could add a little more right there. But nonetheless, still got top 3. Can't complain too much, but yeah, it's just so hard, especially like when you're just a little outnumbered, and plus just this kind of packaging stuff. It's just really hard to make a move when it's like just only 5 of us too. If there was a lot more cars in the pack, it could have probably been a lot more interesting. But I mean, that's what we're gonna get with these small fields. So it is what it is. But we tried all we could. Hate Cody couldn't get up there at the end, but it's just part of it.
Yeah, you made that. We could see you and Cody kind of testing some things out. It just didn't. Cody was making a great dive down to the bottom and won, but really with not much help, he wasn't really able to go anywhere. But coming through the trial with her right there at the end, you made that move to the bottom, and for a second there, it looked like Patton was going to go with you, and then it was almost like he started to follow you down there, and then he went, "Oh, wait a minute, I need to jump back up here with my teammates," because he just kind of left you down there. But I thought he was going to come give you a hand and try to push you to the lead there for a second.
Yeah, that's why I didn't make the move until when I did, because, I mean, if I make it, like, any earlier in the lap, like, if Cody and I try to do something earlier in the lap, we just get side drafted and we don't even finish in, like, the money spots. So, like I said, it's just a case of being outnumbered, just the way this package just is with how strong the side draft is. It's just so hard to make a move on the bottom when they come down and side draft you. So, that's why I tried all I could to try to, like, side draft all them guys, try to sneak right rears, but I mean, what can you do? We went for it, but Patton was going to be committed to his team. So, like I said, I mean, it is what it is. It's part of the game. So, yeah. But, I mean, like I said, I'm not going to complain too much. Like I said, I wish we had a bigger field, but you'll get that sometimes. Cool to go green. I haven't had a all-green race in a while, so
yeah, I haven't done that for a while.
One of those. Yeah, cool to be a part of one of those, even though it's only like 12 people in here. But still, good group of guys to come out here and race with. Still had good fun, and good race with Cody, and shout out to Josh on the win.
Well, I don't have anybody else here in the waiting room, so I got to get your opinion on this. So early on in this race, I'm not familiar with Daniel Lawless. I haven't seen this guy around in the 97, but he just drove around everybody on his own on the outside, and I don't think I've seen anybody do that in this package before. And I was just kind of shocked how he was able to do that by himself.
Yeah, that's what happens when the entire field's running half throttle trying to save fuel at the end. Because,
gotcha.
That was when we were all trying to see, like, can we, like, fuel save? But when a couple of guys were peeling off, then some guys pitting because, like, it was just going to be so much faster to just run full pace. So all those guys peeled out. Cody and I tried to run one more lap to see if we could get a gap. But unfortunately, we just couldn't get speed in time. So yeah, at that point, yeah, like he just went up to the front. He drove by himself just because we were all trying to half throttle to save fuel. By that point, everyone just abandoned it, and we just all went for pitting, just went to race. But it just got all broke up because a lot of people are not that good at like trying to pit on Group 5 stops, or they don't know how to like maximize it to the fullest. So yeah, got us all broken up. But yeah, that's why you saw Lawless had like a 3 or whatever second lead just because he was wide open. And if he had a much stronger pit stop and stayed with Cody and I, that could have been a much better race. We would have had an extra number, but he had a really terrible pit entry and just didn't get off pit row like he could. So like he was so far ahead of Cody and I, we caught him on the pit entry, And then unfortunately, like we just dusted him in the pits, but
Yeah,
it comes with it.
He had a
It comes
4-second
with
lead
it.
at that point, and it was like I don't have anything here that could tell me you guys were. I guess I should have just known better, and that's what you guys were doing, because it just kind of surprised the hell out of me that he was just driving by you guys on the outside. I didn't even think that you guys were just backing off and saving fuel. So I'll have to keep that in my memory bank for later. But
Yeah.
But hey, man, thanks a lot for taking the time to jump up here with us. I really appreciate it. Good run tonight. I know you would have rather been a couple more spots up, but like you said, you finished in the money in the top 3. But man, I know you got some other stuff coming up. So before we get out of here, anybody you want to give a thanks to?
Yeah, thanks James for putting this race on. Thanks to everyone who came out and raced. Like I said, small field tonight, but you'll get that sometimes. Shout out to you for broadcasting. Shout out to Josh on the win, and shout out to Cody. Hey, we couldn't really get anything done right there, but I'll try better next time. And thanks to everyone watching.
All right, brother. Have a good rest of the night and a good weekend, and we'll talk to you again next time.
All right, thanks so much. You have a good one, Chris.
You bet. You take care.
Yep.
All right, Daniel Falkenham coming home in third there tonight. We did not see either one of the McCullers jump in the waiting room, so they didn't want to talk to us, I guess. So they're just going to take their money and go home. So we'll take one more quick look at the full race results before we get out of here. Josh McCullough with the victory here tonight. Kenneth McCullough in second. We just talked to the third place finisher, Daniel Falcon, and Matt Patton there in fourth. Cody Nichols fifth. Richard Elliott in sixth. Michael Mancheka in seventh. William Scott Jr. eighth. Tim White ninth. James Waring in 10th. And rounding out the 11 cars that started was Daniel Lawless. Got up and led a few laps, but ended up back there in the back of the field. So we're going to go ahead and get ourselves out of here for the night. But before we do, talk a little bit what's coming your way here. We've got a couple more races coming at you here next week, Tuesday night. We have the Western Racing League Truck Series at North Wilkesboro Speedway. That's just been a fun league to cover on Tuesday nights. That should be a great race on the short track at North Wilkesboro. Wednesday night, we've got the Smoking Thunder ARCA Series from Chicagoland. Sagar Basket going to be covering that one for us. Thursday night, the Victory Lane Outlaws Cars Late Models. I jumped in the booth with Liam for their show at, where were we at? We were at, wow. We were at Lanier. We were at Lanier last Thursday night. And I tell you what, they only had about 5 or 6 cars, but that was one of the best 5 or 6 car races I've seen in a long, long time. Don't miss that race on Thursday. That's going to be a fun one. Then next Friday night, we've got the Half Decent Racing League coming your way. But what we're really excited about coming up, July 20th through the 23rd, 4 nights of racing. Dirty Old Bastards hosting the 410 Sprint Cars, brought to you by Steinman Gallo Racing. 410 Sprints at Eldora. Some of the best dirt track racers in all of iRacing going to be joining us here for that one. That is going to be just a fantastic show. Cannot wait for that. My friend Matt Matler is going to join me in the booth for that one. If you like some good dirt track action, make sure you hit the subscribe button notification. You do not want to miss that coming your way, July 20th through the 23rd. So we're going to go ahead and get ourselves out of here for the night. We'll be back on Tuesday night, like we said. So from all of us here at DRSN, thanks for choosing to spend your evening with us. I'm Chris Murphy saying keep it smooth, keep it smart, and if you can't do that, at least keep it entertaining for the folks at home. We're going to see you next time. Good night.